Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine. So, Marco, what are we talking about here today?
Today, we're going shopping again.
We go shopping a lot here in English Pod, but this is an upper intermediate level lesson, so we've got some very specific terminology to cover.
Exactly. We're going shopping for a digital camera, so we're going to be talking about very specific, maybe a little bit technical vocab related to this very fascinating and expensive product.
All right, I'm very excited. I recently purchased a camera, but we won't talk about that yet. Let's take a listen to the dialogue for the first time, and when we come back, we can talk about some of the really interesting details.
Hello, ma'am. Can I help you find something?
Yes, actually. I'm looking to buy a camera.
We've got a wide selection. Do you know if you'd like a point and shoot or something a little fancier? Are you shopping for yourself or for someone else?
Actually, I'm buying a camera for my husband.
Ah, well then I'd recommend a nice entry-level digital SLR.
Yeah? Can I take a look at the SLRs you carry?
Sure thing, follow me. This here is
the Canon EOS. Yeah, it's okay, but I'm looking for something that performs better in low light, has a better display panel and longer battery life.
The Nikon D60 is a nice option?
Yeah, but what kit lens does this camera come with? I don't want some bulky telephoto lens.
Well, this one has the,
Looks to me like an 18 to 55mm lens. Pretty standard. That'll do. Not like my husband will be stalking celebrities or anything.
can I interest you in any
Accessories? Do you carry polarizing filters?
Polarizing filters? We should. I'm sorry, ma'am. Looks like we're sold out.
No, you're not. There are some right here.
Oh, well, would you look at that? Polarizing.
Like I said, but there are some very important words that anyone who wants to buy a camera should know before they go into the store. And these are common across the board. So let's take a look at these in today's language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, so in language takeaway today, we have our first difference. Now, it's very important to know the difference between point-and-shoot camera and the digital SLR.
Okay, so digital, everyone knows digital now, right? That's the kind of photography we have. You don't use film, okay? It uses a memory card to record digital images. But point and shoot are those little cameras where you just click and it takes a picture. There's no lens, there's no additional lens, there's no special add-ons. It's a small rectangle and you just take normal pictures. And that's the kind of camera that like my mom uses.
Like
and that,
everyone usually
I have it in my
those.
Purse and whatever. It's just easy to use. But the digital SLR is a kind of camera that's like the old SLR where you have an attachment of you have a body and you have a lens and they're just much fancier and you have to do a lot more on your own to make a nice picture.
Now, SLR, that's an acronym. Do you know what it stands for?
So an SLR is a single lens reflex camera, and that means that there's a lot more you have to do as the photographer to make sure that the picture comes out well.
Right, so it's really interesting because you can actually play with the lens, like the focus and, how much light you want to allow it to go in, and there's a lot of really, sometimes a little bit difficult things that not many people understand.
Exactly, and so I think that's why it's good to do some research before you buy one because there's so many differences across the different cameras.
Okay, now both on digital SLRs and on point-and-shoot cameras, you have something that's called a display panel.
That's right. So a display panel is usually covered in plastic, and it's the area that tells you how many pictures you've taken, how many pictures you can take, if the flash is on, if you're doing an automatic setting. So it's like the little computer monitor that tells you what's going on with the camera.
Usually after you take a picture, you can also see how it came out, right, in that moment.
Exactly. And so a lot of times with these fancy cameras, you want to know how big the display panel is and how good the quality is in the display panel. Because obviously if you take a picture and it shows up bad in the display panel, you want to take a new one. But
Right.
what if it's the display panel that's broken?
Right, right. Okay, very good. And that's actually one of the great advantages of digital cameras, that you can actually see how your picture looks like
Exactly.
in
It's
that moment.
instant gratification.
Nice. All right, now when she was looking to buy this digital SLR, she mentioned something about a kit lens.
Okay, this is fancy camera terminology, right? Because if you buy a point and shoot, there's no lens. It's just the camera. But if you're buying a fancy digital SLR, you can buy the body, which means the machine, but there's no lens. So normally stores will sell cameras with a kit lens. That means they make a kit or they make a combination for you.
So it's the body and the lens.
Exactly.
But if you want, you can buy the body and the lens separate. Maybe you want a really fancy lens.
Exactly. So what's the kind of fancy lens we might buy?
A telephoto lens.
Ooh, so these are the really big lenses for super close-up shots from a distance, right? So you think of maybe professional photographers or photojournalists who have these kind of lenses. They're big and they're bulky and they're not
Right.
for traveling.
Usually you see them in like sporting events, right? They're on the side of the field and they have these big white, they're usually white lenses on their cameras. So you can actually take a very close picture of the action that's far away.
Exactly. And it's really good for those kind of things where you have action or where you're trying to get close-ups.
And now if one of these accessories that could go well with a telephoto lens or any digital SLR is a polarizing filter.
Okay, so filter is something that takes certain elements out of something else. So we can filter coffee, for example, and it takes the coffee grounds out and leaves the water. But in a camera, a polarizing filter is something we put onto the glass of the lens to change the way that light goes into the lens.
Okay. So in this way, you take a picture maybe of a very sunny day and it will look differently if you didn't have this filter.
Exactly. And you can also have a UV filter, which does similar things with UV rays in the sunlight. And these are just filters or things you put on the camera, and polarizing means that you're splitting up, right, the kind of light that goes in.
Okay, very good. Very technical terms, and but they're very useful, especially if you're looking to buy one of these cameras and you're not very familiar with the terms. But why don't we move on now to some very interesting phrases that we saw in the dialogue on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
All right, so on Fluency Builder, our first phrase today is entry level. What's an entry level digital SLR?
Okay, well, entry level is something that we can use for any kind of purchase, so any kind of thing that we buy. In the case of a camera, an entry level is not for an expert or professional. It's something for someone who's buying one for the first time.
So like for beginners.
For beginners. So entry level is like entry, beginning, starting. We can have an entry level job where you don't need training or experience, right? An entry level camera where you don't need long experience with fancy cameras.
Or training to know how to use it. Okay, very good. So that's an entry level camera, but as you mentioned, we can also use it for the job, an entry level job position. All right, what about our second phrase?
Okay, so this one goes with the telephoto lens, right? She says, I don't need a telephoto lens. My husband doesn't need a telephoto lens. It's not like he's going to be stalking celebrities.
Okay, so we have this verb here, to stalk.
To stalk, that means to follow someone around.
Okay.
And to look at them and to watch them and to not leave them alone.
Now, she mentioned this because this is a very, very interesting and closely associated topic with photographers. You know, you have the paparazzi who follow celebrities and they have these big telephoto lens so they can take pictures of celebrities without them knowing.
Exactly. And so you imagine someone in a tree with a big telephoto lens taking a photo of someone famous who's, half a mile away. And stalking celebrities is something that's a bad thing, right?
Yeah, it's bad.
But it's
and
very
also
common.
illegal, I think.
And I think it's illegal, yeah.
All right. And what about our last phrase?
Would you look at that?
Well, he said it in a very surprised tone, right? Kind of like he didn't really expect to find the polarizing filters.
Right, so he's embarrassed, okay? Would you look at that means, oh, wow, I'm surprised.
Right.
Right, so it's awkward, right? So you could say, Marco, you got a little bit of food on your shirt. You've had it for like an hour.
Oh my God! Would you look at that? Oh,
That's
the beans
really,
I had
that's really embarrassing. I've got food on my,
on
right?
my shirt.
So this man who works at the store, he's embarrassed because he didn't know something he should know.
Okay.
And so he says, "Oh, would you look at that? How funny! I didn't see those."
Now we can also maybe use it in a sarcastic tone, right? If I tell somebody, "Can you bring me my glasses that are on the table?" And they're like, "I can't find them. They're not here." And then I find them. Would you look at that? Here they are, right?
On your head the whole time. That's my mom. Would you look at that? I was wearing my glasses the whole time.
All right, very good. So why don't we listen to the dialogue for the last time, and we'll be back to talk about digital SLRs.
Hello, ma'am. Can I help you find something?
Yes, actually, I'm looking to buy a camera.
We've got a wide selection. Do you know if you'd like a point and shoot or something a little fancier? Are you shopping for yourself or for someone else?
Actually, I'm buying a camera for my husband.
Ah, well then I'd recommend a nice entry-level digital SLR.
Yeah? Can I take a look at the SLRs you carry?
Sure thing, follow me. This here is
The Canon EOS. Yeah, it's okay, but I'm looking for something that performs better in low light, has a better display panel, and longer battery life.
The Nikon D60 is a nice option?
Yeah, but what kit lens does this camera come with? I don't want some bulky telephoto lens.
Well, this one has the,
Looks to me like an 18 to 55mm lens. Pretty standard. That'll do. Not like my husband will be stalking celebrities or anything.
can I interest you in any
Accessories? Do you carry polarizing filters?
polarizing filters? We should. I'm sorry, ma'am. Looks like we're sold out.
No, you're not. There are some right here.
Oh, well, would you look at that? Polarizing filters.
Thanks for your help, Ralph.
No problem, ma'am.
All right, we're back. So you mentioned you recently bought a digital SLR camera. How's that working out?
I'm loving it. I have to actually train myself on how to use it because I used to have an old film camera that had it was actually a Nikon as well, and it's different using a digital SLR. There's a lot of things you can do that are very fancy because you actually there's a computer inside essentially. So it's I'm getting used to it. It's fun.
And what about the difference in pictures, like from a point and shoot to a digital SLR? Does it really make a great difference? Are you very happy with it?
There is a big difference, and part of the difference is that you can control every aspect of the photo, okay? So my digital camera was a small little Canon, you know, the little, what are they called? The power shoot? And it took great pictures because, you know, these cameras have amazing pixel quality, right? They have like 7.1 megapixels or like 9.1 megapixels. So the quality is really good, but everything looks the same. If I have my digital camera, my digital SLR, I can frame a shot and I can focus on one person but make everyone else blurry. I can really make more artistic photos, whereas the point and shoot is great for parties and for
just like everyday stuff.
Everyday stuff, exactly.
Now, what about traveling? You have a dilemma there, right? Because you visit very beautiful places where you would love to take very nice pictures with a digital SLR, but at the same time, the inconvenience of it, because they're pretty big. All of them are pretty big. So where would you go on that? Would you use the point and shoot or the digital SLR?
Well, that's a good question. One of the reasons that I picked the lens that I did is because it's not immense. But I really want to be able to do some like landscape photography, and I travel a lot, so I think it's worthwhile to suck it up and just take the camera, because otherwise, why did you buy it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Hello, how are you today?
Hi, I'm doing great, thanks. How about you?
I'm good too. I'm excited because today we are talking about something fun and useful, buying a camera.
Yes, buying a camera can be exciting, but it can also be confusing. There's so many types and so many features to think about.
Exactly. When you walk into a store, there are small cameras, big cameras, simple ones, professional ones. It can be hard to know which one is right for you.
That's why it's important to know a little before you buy. Let's start by talking about the two main types of cameras: point-and-shoot cameras and digital SLR cameras.
Point-and-shoot cameras are small and very easy to use. You just turn them on, point at something, and press a button. The camera does most of the work for you.
That's true. They're great for beginners or for people who just want quick photos without thinking too much. They fit easily in your pocket or bag, so they are perfect for trips and family events.
On the other hand, digital SLR cameras, or DSLRs, are bigger and more powerful. With a DSLR, you can change the lens, control the light, and make very beautiful artistic photos.
Right, but they are also heavier, and you need to learn how to use them. If you want to really get into photography and make high-quality pictures, a DSLR might be a good choice.
Sometimes when people buy a DSLR, they buy it with a kit lens. That means the camera comes with one basic lens. You can start taking photos right away, and later, you can buy special lenses if you want.
Exactly. And some lenses are very big, like telephoto lenses. These are good for taking pictures from far away, like at sports games or wildlife parks.
But if you just want a camera for everyday life, like parties, family trips, or pictures of your pets, you probably don't need a big lens. A simple kit lens is enough.
Another thing to think about is the display panel. That's the little screen on the back of the camera. It shows you the picture you just took and helps you see your settings.
A good display panel is clear and bright. It makes it easier to know if your picture looks good or if you need to take it again. It's really helpful when you are learning.
Also, battery life is important. You don't want a camera that runs out of power quickly, especially when you are traveling. It's smart to check how long the battery lasts before you buy.
And don't forget about accessories. Some cameras need extra things like memory cards to store pictures, extra batteries, and camera bags to protect them.
Yes, and if you want to get even better photos, you might use filters like a polarizing filter. It helps control the light and can make the sky look bluer or remove reflections from water.
It's amazing how one small filter can change the way your photo looks. But you don't have to buy everything at once. You can start simple and add more things later if you want.
Buying a camera is a little like buying a car. You need to think about what you will use it for, how much you want to spend, and what features are really important to you.
And remember, no camera is perfect. Even the best camera cannot take a good photo if the person behind it doesn't have some practice. It's the person, not just the camera, that makes the picture great.
That's so true. Learning how to use your camera, even a simple one, can make a huge difference. You can take beautiful pictures with practice, patience, and a little creativity.
So when you are buying a camera, take your time. Ask questions, try holding the camera in your hands, and think about how you will really use it.
And most of all, have fun. Photography is not just about technology. It's about seeing the world in a new way and capturing special moments to keep forever.
Another important thing to think about when buying a camera is the size and weight. Some cameras look great, but they are heavy to carry around all day.
That's a good point. If you plan to travel a lot or walk around with your camera, you might want something lighter. It's no fun carrying a heavy camera when you just want to enjoy your trip.
Yes, and sometimes a small point-and-shoot camera is the better choice for traveling. You can still take great pictures without feeling tired or carrying too many things.
But if you're someone who loves photography as a hobby, maybe the bigger DSLR is perfect. It really depends on what makes you happy and comfortable.
Budget is another thing to think about. Cameras can be very expensive, especially when you add lenses, memory cards, and other accessories.
That's true, but you don't have to spend a lot of money to take beautiful photos. Many entry-level cameras are affordable and still have great quality.
And sometimes it's better to start with something simple. When you learn more about photography, you can always upgrade to a better camera later.
Another thing people sometimes forget is to check the camera's settings. Some cameras have automatic settings that are very easy for beginners. Others have more manual settings for people who want more control.
If you are just starting, an automatic setting can help you a lot. You can just focus on taking the photo and enjoy learning step by step.
But if you're interested in learning about light, focus, and speed, a camera with manual options will give you more freedom to be creative.
Also, it's good to think about what you like to take pictures of. Are you interested in portraits, landscapes, animals, sports, or maybe travel photography?
Yes, because different types of photography need different things. If you love taking pictures of nature, you might want a camera that works well in different kinds of light, like morning or evening light.
Or if you like taking pictures of fast-moving things like sports or animals, you might need a camera that focuses quickly and can take many pictures fast, one after another.
And if you love taking portraits, you might want a camera and lens that make the background soft and blurry, so the person's face stands out more clearly.
Knowing what you like helps you choose the right camera for your style. It makes taking photos more fun and helps you feel happy with your choice.
And remember, you can always ask questions when you're shopping. A good salesperson will listen to you and help you find something that fits your needs, not just sell you something expensive.
It's also a smart idea to read some reviews before you buy. Other people's experiences can help you see the good and bad sides of each camera.
And sometimes you can find great cameras that are a little older, but still amazing. You don't always need the newest model to take beautiful pictures.
When you finally choose your camera, the next important step is learning how to use it. Many people buy a nice camera but never learn all the features it has.
Yes, that happens a lot. It's a good idea to spend some time reading the manual or watching simple videos online. Even learning a few small tips can make a big difference.
Practice is really the key. The more pictures you take, the better you understand your camera. You learn what settings work best in different places and times of day.
Taking pictures inside, outside, during the day, and at night helps you see how light changes everything. Cameras see light differently than our eyes, so practice teaches you a lot.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Sometimes a blurry picture or a strange color can teach you something new. Every photo is a chance to learn.
Also, don't worry about having perfect pictures at the beginning. Photography is a journey. Even professional photographers were beginners once.
Another tip is to try different styles. Take close-up photos, photos from far away, photos from high up or down low. Moving your body and your camera can create amazing effects.
And try using natural light first. Early morning or late afternoon light is usually very soft and beautiful. You don't always need a flash to get a great shot.
If you really enjoy taking photos, you can also join a local class or an online group. Meeting other people who love photography can give you new ideas and help you improve faster.
Sharing your photos with others is a great way to stay motivated. You can post them online or show them to your friends and family. Every little bit of feedback helps you grow.
Another fun idea is to make small projects for yourself. For example, you can decide to take a picture of something read every day for 1 week. Little challenges like this make practice more exciting.
Photography is not only about skill, it's about how you see the world. Even with a simple camera, you can tell amazing stories with your pictures.
Your pictures show your point of view, what you find beautiful, interesting, funny, or special. Every person sees the world in their own way.
And that's what makes photography so wonderful. It's not about being perfect. It's about sharing a little piece of how you see life with others.
One more thing to remember is that you don't have to travel far to take beautiful photos. You can start right where you are. Your home, your street, your local park. These places are full of interesting things to capture.
That's very true. Sometimes the small, simple moments make the most powerful pictures. A smile, a sunset, a cup of coffee, even a rainy day can be beautiful when you look closely.
And taking pictures often helps you notice more about the world. You start seeing colors, shapes, and lights that you didn't pay attention to before. It's a great way to feel more connected to everything around you.
Buying a camera is not just buying a machine. It's opening a door to a new way of seeing life. It gives you the chance to create memories, tell stories, and enjoy little moments even more.
Today, we talked about many things to think about before buying a camera. We talked about the different types of cameras, important features like battery life, display panels, and lenses. We also shared ideas about how to learn and grow as a new photographer.
The most important thing to remember is that it's not about having the best camera. It's about using what you have with passion, creativity, and a little bit of patience.
Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. We hope you enjoyed it and learned something new to help you on your photography journey.
If you like this episode, please give a thumbs up, leave us a comment, and share it with your friends and family. We would love to hear about your experiences with buying a camera or taking photos.
Thank you again for being with us. Keep practicing, keep exploring, and keep seeing the beauty around you.
Take care, have a wonderful day, and goodbye.
Hi, welcome. Are you ready to listen to our story? Imagine this. You walk into a big electronics store. Bright lights, glass shelves, and so many shiny cameras waiting for you. But suddenly, you feel nervous. What should you say? How do you ask for help? Today's story is about shopping for a digital camera, and along the way, I will share useful English phrases you can use in real life. For example, when entering a shop, you might hear, "Can I help you find something?" This is the shop assistant's way of starting a conversation. A natural answer could be, "Yes, I'm looking for a digital camera." Notice how polite and clear this sentence is. Politeness is very important in English-speaking countries, especially when shopping. Many learners forget to start with yes or "I'm looking for," but these simple words make you sound confident and friendly. Now, when you say you want to buy a camera, the shop assistant may ask, "Is it for you or is it a gift?" This is common in English-speaking culture. People often buy electronics for family or friends. If you answer, "It's for my husband," or "It's for my sister," you're not just giving information, you're helping the assistant recommend the right product. In English shopping culture, salespeople expect details because it helps them give better service. So, the first lesson here is, don't be shy. Share extra details. It makes your English sound natural and also helps you get what you really want. When you stand in front of the camera shelf, you might notice many different options. Some are small and simple, called point-and-shoot cameras. Others are bigger and more professional, often called DSLR cameras or mirrorless cameras. These words can be confusing, so it's important to learn how to describe what you want in English. A helpful phrase is, "I'm looking for something easy to use," if you want a simple model. If you want higher quality, you could say, "I'd like a camera with professional features." These short phrases guide the conversation and make you sound clear. Another useful point is vocabulary connected to features. Sales assistants often ask, "Do you want better battery life?" or "Do you need good low-light performance?" These phrases are not only for cameras, you can use them when buying phones, laptops, or even TVs. For example, long battery life means you don't need to charge often, and low light performance means the camera can take clear photos even in the evening or indoors. Learning these expressions gives you more power as a customer. When you answer, try to be specific. Instead of only saying, "I want a good camera," try, "I need a camera with a sharp display and strong battery." Adding details makes your English more natural and also shows confidence. Remember, in English culture, customers are expected to explain their needs clearly. This makes shopping smoother, and it helps you practice useful everyday vocabulary at the same time. Now, picture this. The shop assistant takes out 2 cameras and places them on the counter. One is a Canon, the other a Nikon. Both look amazing, but you need to compare them. This is where English learners can really grow their skills, because shopping is not only about choosing, it's also about asking the right questions. You can say, "What lens comes with this camera?" or "Does this model include a warranty?" These are very practical questions. The word lens is key in photography, and in English, it's also useful to know phrases like kit lens, which means the standard lens that comes with a camera. Another important word is warranty. In many English-speaking countries, when you buy electronics, the store offers a warranty, which is a type of guarantee that if something goes wrong, you can repair or replace the item for free. A natural way to ask is, "How long is the warranty?" Or, "Does the warranty cover damage?" These are polite and professional questions that show you are a smart buyer. Also, when comparing 2 products, you can use words like better than, cheaper than, or lighter than. For example, "This camera is lighter than that one." Notice the grammar. We add to short adjectives like lighter, cheaper, faster. But for longer adjectives, we use more. For example, "This model is more powerful than the other one." These small grammar rules are very practical in shopping conversations. Finally, remember that in many English-speaking stores, the salesperson may try to recommend accessories such as camera bags, tripods, or filters. This is normal and part of their job. If you don't want something, the polite way to refuse is to say, "No, thank you, not today." Politeness is not only culture, it is power in English. It makes you sound confident and respectful at the same time. As you hold the camera in your hands, the shop assistant might explain more details. This is the perfect time to practice listening skills. You could hear sentences like, "This model performs well in low light," or "The display is very sharp." These are useful collocations words that often go together. For example, we say sharp display, but not clear display. Learning these natural combinations makes your English sound smoother. Another important skill in shopping is comparing value for money. In English, you can say, "Is this worth the price?" or "Does this camera give good value?" These phrases help you make smart decisions not only in camera shops, but also in everyday life when buying clothes, food, or even tickets. The idea of value is very strong in English culture. People don't just want something cheap, they want quality that matches the price. You might also want to talk about battery life and memory cards. These are key words in technology shopping. A useful question is, how long does the battery last on a single charge? Or, what size memory card does this camera support? Notice how natural it sounds when you use complete questions instead of short words. Speaking in full sentences shows respect and confidence. Finally, think about body language. In many English-speaking cultures, eye contact and a smile show you are polite and interested. Even if your English is not perfect, positive body language communicates confidence. Remember, communication is not only words, it's also how you look and sound. Practicing this will make your shopping experience smoother and help you use English in real life with more success. After asking questions and comparing features, the next big step is making a decision. This moment can feel stressful, but it's also the best chance to practice practical English. You might say, "I think I'll take this one," or "I've decided to buy the Nikon model." These simple sentences are powerful because they close the conversation clearly. In English-speaking culture, customers are expected to state their choice directly rather than just pointing or staying silent. Another useful phrase is, "Can I pay by card?" or "Do you accept credit cards?" These are very common in stores. In many English-speaking countries, almost everyone pays with a card instead of cash, so learning how to ask this question is essential. If you prefer cash, you can say, "I'd like to pay in cash." Notice the polite phrase, "I'd like to," which is softer and more formal than simply saying, "I want." Using "I'd like" in shopping situations makes you sound very polite and confident. At this stage, the shop assistant might offer you extras, such as a camera bag, a memory card, or a warranty extension. This is where you can practice saying yes or no politely. If you agree, you can say, "That sounds useful. I'll take it." If you refuse, say, "No, thank you. Maybe next time." Polite refusals are very important. They help you stay respectful while still controlling your choices. Finally, think about the cultural point of negotiation. In many Western stores, prices are fixed, so bargaining is not common. However, in some shops, especially smaller or independent ones, you might hear, "Do you offer any discounts?" Or, "Is there a special price for cash payment?" Even if the answer is no, asking in a polite way shows confidence and helps you practice English. Every shopping trip becomes a chance to grow your language skills and cultural understanding. Now, imagine you have chosen your camera, paid for it, and the assistant carefully packs it in a box. The experience is almost finished, but there are still important English phrases you can use. One of them is, "Could you show me how to use the basic settings?" In many English-speaking countries, sales staff are happy to give a short demonstration. This is a great chance to hear real English instructions and also to repeat key vocabulary like zoom in, zoom out, turn on the flash, or adjust the focus. These words are not only technical, they are also used in everyday English. For example, in conversation, we often say, "Let's zoom in on that idea," or "Focus on the main point." Shopping can teach you language that transfers into daily life. Another useful phrase is, "Do I need to register the warranty online?" In many places, electronic products require online registration. This is important vocabulary because it helps you understand forms, websites, and customer service communication in English. If you don't understand, you can practice asking for clarification. "Could you explain that again, please?" Or, "I'm not sure I understand. Can you show me?" These polite requests are some of the most powerful tools for English learners. They keep the conversation going without embarrassment. Finally, think about leaving the shop. In English-speaking culture, it's polite to say something small at the end, like, "Thank you for your help," or "I appreciate your time." These little expressions create a friendly ending and show cultural awareness. Even though the transaction is finished, your last words leave an impression. In fact, being polite at the end of a shopping experience is as important as asking clear questions at the beginning. It shows not just your language skills, but also your confidence and respect. Once you arrive home with your new camera, the real adventure begins. Opening the box, touching the buttons, and exploring the menus all give you chances to practice useful English vocabulary. You can describe what you are doing. "I'm charging the battery," "I'm inserting the memory card," or "I'm setting the date and time." These are simple present continuous sentences, and they are very practical for both speaking and writing. Saying them out loud while using your camera can actually make your English practice more active and memorable. Another great way to improve is by reading the instruction manual. Many learners avoid manuals because they look boring, but they are full of real-life English. Words like mode dial, aperture, shutter speed, and resolution are technical, but they also appear in conversations about photography, social media, and even daily life. For example, people often say high-resolution picture when talking about a phone, or fast shutter when describing action shots. Learning these words expands your vocabulary beyond the shop. When you start using the camera, you can also practice giving yourself small instructions in English. Focus on the subject. Adjust the light. Take a wide shot. This turns a hobby into a language learning exercise. Every click of the camera is a chance to repeat useful phrases. And remember, learning English works best when connected to something you enjoy. If photography excites you, it will make English more natural and fun. Finally, reflect on the whole experience. From entering the store and greeting the assistant, to asking about features, comparing options, paying politely, and now using the product, you have practiced real-world English every step of the way. Shopping is not just buying things, it's building confidence, using polite expressions, and understanding culture. Thank you for being a part of Best English Podcast Zone.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Any compact, non-SLR camera with non-interchangeable lenses, using automatic settings and simplified controls, generally desired by novices and casual users. Point and shoot. Try to persuade someone to buy, do, or eat something. Interest someone in. A transparent optical device used to converge or diverge transmitted light and to form images. Lens. A camera lens filter used to control the plane of polarization of light entering the lens. Polarizing filter. Simple and appropriate to an inexperienced person. Entry level.
Let's try that faster.
Simple and appropriate to an inexperienced person. Entry level. A camera lens filter used to control the plane of polarization of light entering the lens. Polarizing filter.